Jamie McMurray, this will be his 4th race at Atlanta. Best start of 4th, best finish of 7th. That was in the number 40 in relief that season of Sterling Marlin at the tail end of 2002.
He just keeps getting better, Larry. That whole team does, him and Donnie Wingo. And I think since they put the star back on the hood, they're trying to live up to that reputation.
They are definitely do that. I mean, their qualifying has been on the money. They're one of only 2 drivers to have 3 top 10 starts in 2004. The other one's Greg Biffle. Won a Busch race here in 2002 when he was on that tear of winning Busch races. And this is actually the same car that they ran at Rockingham in Las Vegas. They've got the theory, you got a good horse, keep riding it.
I like it.
Now, I'm looking at the grill of that car as McMurray finishes up his run in 5th. We'll talk after we hear from Matt about something Ray Evernham did last week in qualifying with tape on the grill that was different. First, here's Matt.
It's won a few times for us this year already, and hopefully we can get back on top and get the momentum going the right way this weekend and starting here in qualifying today.
You ready to get the Kansas trophy back in the Hendrick shops as well?
Yeah, Jeff has had a stranglehold on that trophy for a while, and we have some spot over on the 48 side, in our trophy case for a Kansas trophy, so we'd like to have one.
Ryan stole it last year, so.
Yeah, everybody wants it. That's the good thing about our sport. And the way everybody's competing right now for this championship, you've got 10, 12 guys that can win it. So, my hat's off to NASCAR. For the big picture, I think they've done a great job with this point system. I was the slowest to conform and had a hard time with it at first, but for the overall good of our sport, there's a lot of great things coming from it, and I think our competition is the start of it.
Thanks, Jimmy. Mike?
Jimmy's 9th in points. Got to dig himself out of a hole to get back into the chase. Bobby Labonte turned the wick up, 30.18 for the Interstate Battery Chevy. He is 3rd, and he's one and done.
And I think one of the keys to his run was I saw 197 miles per hour into turn 1, and the car stuck. You would think that fast in the corner that he would pay the price on the exit, but he really did. And that's a great qualifying run for Bobby in this 18 group. They're trying to stop their bleeding. The last 12 races, no top 10 finishes.
Back at Dover, we'll see what Casey Kane has for Jeremy Mayfield.
Boy, I thought last week, there at the latter stages of the race, he was closing on Jimmy Johnson. Only car that did that all night long. Had those cautions there at the end. The car didn't look nearly as good the last few laps of the race. Matter of fact, he got into Bobby Labonte. I know he and Bobby had a few words after the race, as a matter of fact.
Casey was 6th quickest in practice.
I think Bobby was explaining a few things to him.
Car looks awfully good, DW.
She's up off the bottom, Larry.
Yeah, it's not great right there.
Slid up there a little bit at the center of the turn.
11th quickest on his first lap.
See how he goes up the hill right there, kind of diming the corner off? It's costing you time.
A little bit loose late exit there up on the straightaway.
She don't have the Jeremy look, I can tell you that.
I believe this lap may be a little better than that first lap if he can get off turn 4, but it's not going to be pole material. Picks up just a little bit, picks it up 1 position by doing it.
Ward Burton has also made his qualifying run. He's 22nd.
For a little discussion, and they put both these cars at the end of the cars on the lead lap.
Spent some points, didn't they?
Yeah, 20, what did it say, 21 points or
31, yeah.
31 points.
And I'll let you know a little secret. We spent some time with Kevin Harvick and Richard Childress up at the river.
The Yadkin River?
Yeah. This past week, and they are in the pre-race show for the Brickyard a week from Sunday.
Oh.
And it's very interesting to hear how Kevin has matured from his intense youth as a NEXTEL Cup Series driver, but still shows flashes of that aggressive behavior.
And this qualifying run so far, not up to their standards, obviously where they want to be. So far, it's 17th best out of the 37 cars. Well, that's a little bit better, 15th.
Harvick, of course, the defending champion at Indianapolis. And 14th after his first lap here in Pocono.
All right, let's check it out. Down in turn 1. TNT Pace just says going in the corner. He was 2nd best so far, 3rd, 4th. But see how he hits those bumps and the car moves up the racetrack. And look how the speed just starts slowing down. And you're not able to get off that corner under throttle. And that's why those numbers just keep going up as far as position is concerned.
And then what do you do?
Park.
Give it up.
Yeah, give it up.
Kevin Harvick lands in 14th. 37 cars have completed their qualifying runs here at Pocono. Robbie Gordon yet to go.
Trick or treat. Dale Jarrett in the UPS Ford. Had 8 straight races here, starting in the top 10 on the new configuration. Started 6th here in the spring.
It'd be interesting to see. We've seen his teammate qualified 3rd so far. If they shared some notes after that practice session and kind of picked this 88 car up to be more like the 38.
Since they reconfigured this racetrack, flipped it around and made it a quad oval, only one driver has scored more points here than Dale Jarrett. That's Jeff Gordon.
I believe this lap is going to be quite a bit better than what he practiced. Looks a lot better. 12th quickest for DJ. 29.45.
Half a
He
second
picked up
better.
a half a second.
Good pickup.
And the thing I heard him say earlier in the day, this is the same car he ran at Lowe's. Qualified terrible. In fact, they used a provisional, but it was so good in the race, he finished 6th.
Back and as Rusty Wallace comes on track in the Miller Lite puddle of mud, 2 Ds, Dodd. And we mentioned Darrell Waltrip winning 4 poles in a row in 1981. Bill Elliott did it in 1985. Won 4 poles in a row. So Bill Elliott was is the most recent to win 4 poles in a row.
I don't think Rusty's going to be very happy in this 2 car with this qualifying run. He was 10th quickest earlier. You see right here, right about 20th quickest on his first lap.
19th, 29.30. That will bump Michael Waltrip to provisional land. And the going home situation is kind of interesting. We know that Greg Sachs and Kirk Shelmerdine will not qualify for the Tropicana 400. If Todd Bodine, who is now 37th, gets bumped, he goes home. But if Chad Blunt, who is 35th, also gets bumped, Bodine is back in because his car owner has more owner points than does Chad Blunt's car owner.
You know, the cars that's left, we have about 5 cars left. We pretty much know Joe Nemechek in the 01 car was pretty quick in practice.
Greg Biffle.
How's old Biff looking here?
National Guard Ford. Now here's a fellow. Where was it just a couple of races ago that he wrecked a car, and the first time he hopped in it in Cup was in qualifying, and he went out and ran a great lap, having never sat in that car.
I think it was at Dover a couple of weeks ago. He was 15th quickest in practice at a 38.05. There you see the teammates chatting right there about right now their tentative front row start.
Biffle's 7.
Biffle's got trouble. No, he just ran the 1 lap. Okay, yeah, he good. 7th quickest on the first lap.
For qualifying, and this one here, so it was definitely a good run for us, and we picked up a little bit from practice, so it was a good day for us.
Good job. Thanks, Bobby.
But Darrell, you had 5 wins here, and I know you won 80-something races. And of course, you won the Daytona 500. But there has to be something just extra special about winning at this place because it's so much a driver's racetrack.
And that's the whole thing, Larry. I mean, there are tracks where you go that the driver can make all the difference in the world. And sometimes you're just as good as your equipment is. But here, being smart, being smooth, and the one word that I learned when I started coming here and started doing well was anticipation. You have to anticipate everything that happens ahead of you here, or you'll end up in a lot of trouble. And it was a good racetrack for me.
Now, DW, I understand that a win here can seem like it's worth $1 million sometimes.
Why do you say that, Matt?
I don't know.
Is there a story, DW?
Dang, that's been 14 years ago. We'll exactly explain that a little bit later.
Place.
Michael Waltrip in the Napa Chevrolet. In the news this week, the news came out of DEI that Michael's going to have to be in the top 10 next year to be able to extend his deal with Dale Earnhardt Incorporated.
You were talking about pressure, guys. I mean, there's some pressure for you to know that you got to be looking at 2005 season. having to finish in the top 10 to be able to retain your ride. I mean, that's really basically building a fire under the driver.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the past champions that did not make the top 10. Dale Jarrett, Bobby Labonte, but a different kind of pressure as you see that right front smoking, which means it looks like possibly this car's traveling more qualifying and the tires are bottoming out. Michael Waltrip, like a lot of drivers that won in 2003, trying to get the victory lane here with one more shot on Sunday.
Well, initially, when the chase for the NEXTEL Cup format was announced, as Michael is fourth fastest on his first lap, good lap, 30.59, there was a fear, a lot of smoke from the right side there as he goes in the corner. There was a fear that sponsors might renegotiate and say, well, if you make the top 10, we'll pay you this, but if you don't make it, we'll pay you that. So some of that was anticipated. We've not heard any news of that yet happening. But this is kind of new to tell a driver, here is the new benchmark. You make it or you pack.
That's a tough order to follow right there. That'll be a good qualifying run for Michael. And I think when all's said and done, Mike, Jeff, I don't think Mark Martin is going to be that disappointed with his qualifying run because the racetrack seems like it's slowing down.
So Sterling Marlin, who finished second here in 2000, his best road course finish in 37 starts. On track in the Coors Light Dodge. Dodge's first NASCAR road course win, 1966, David Pearson for Cotton Owens, driving a Dodge Coronet at Bridgehampton, Long Island.
Coming up that hill to the second turn there is fun. It's really fun. You come by the start-finish line in high gear, third, second, then you're up around the top of that hill. It's really cool. That's a tough spot right here, just getting around turn 4.
Sterling's using a lot of curbing on the inside of these corners.
All the racetrack.
He's not looking like Nigel today, is he?
No. He was 18th quickest in practice.
Yeah. Got that baby reared up in the front end, I know that.
Boy, really using the curb feelers, Darrell.
He's just trying to use them to turn the car. The car looks really tight.
You can hear the wheels squealing.
And when you get a car that high up in the front end, there's no way it can drive right. That thing just looks like it's trying to pick the front wheels up.
I think right here is where it goes down so far under heavy braking getting in the corner. Didn't go down as far as I thought it was.
Doesn't stay down there long enough. He needs him a pair of 481 60s on the front.
Sure, big shocks. Right, DW.
Them guys in the garage area down there now are shaking their head. What's he talking? That's old school.
And they're going in the morning. They're going to be telling me, "Will you please tell DW?"
Sterling is second to Terry Labonte.
I don't tell DW nothing.